Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I think it's pretty established at this point that we are literally living through the age of lies. And before I show you this current lie, I want to remind you, when you're in the age of lies, one of the only things that you can have to protect yourself is physical gold. And now that we have Glint, you can have some gold in a Glint account as well, where you can put your, you can have it in a Glint account and have your Glint MasterCard debit card so that you have spendable gold. When all of these lies lead to ultimate devastation, which they typically will, that's one of the backstops that I'm using. The link to that will be in the top of the description. Now, let's look at some of the lies. This is what they're trying to turn Gary Gensler into. Bloomberg, FTX's collapse validates the Gary Gensler's crypto skepticism. Sam Bankman-Fried fooled a lot of people, but not the SEC chairman, whose warnings about risk and the lack of regulation were well-founded. Now, folks, the symbolism that they use in this article cannot be missed by the digital asset investor. They intentionally make Sam Bankman-Fried, now, don't forget, Gary Gensler was having meetings with this guy. The CFT was having meetings with this guy. The Congress was having meetings with this guy. Almost, I'll whisper this because we don't want too many people to know, almost as if the plan was to tank FTX so that you could then step in and say, see, we told you so. See, we told you so. Crypto needs regulation. How many times have we heard Gary say, oh, I think that regulations are very clear. You think it's a coincidence that they show Sam Bankman-Fried, who now represents crypto in the media, almost as if that's the way they wanted it. And then they have Gary Gensler in a very clear picture. Folks, you can't get, these lies can't get by me. I'm sorry. Look who happened to be the general counsel for FTX US. Look who he worked for before. Mr. Miller previously worked at the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission as legal counsel to CFTC chairman Gary Gensler. And then, of course, we can't forget this. Gary worked for Glenn Ellison, who was the professor of economics at MIT when he was there. His daughter was the CEO of Alameda, and Sam Bankman-Fried was the CEO of FTX, and he went to MIT. Okay? Every rock you look under, Gary Gensler is there having to do with this FTX thing. Now, I had to show you this. Now, you can't hear it well, but I just wanted to show you the fireworks because, as I've told you 1,000 times, this is for entertainment purposes only. Remember that? So this is entertaining. So what this is BitBoy on stage in the Bahamas at, I think it's called Decrypt is the conference he's at. And the lady is standing up yelling, and what she's yelling is she's calling him a scammer. Now, I'm not saying that BitBoy's a scammer. I'm not weighing in on all that. I'm just showing you this for the entertainment value because he literally gets in a fight with her. Watch this.
Go ahead, let's go. Go to Google and search his phone invoice scam.
You are not the father.
We don't need fathers. We are women. We don't need a father.
This is about women now? You didn't get the job. Let me tell you.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just wanted to show you. It's pretty entertaining. There's a couple of videos here of it. Okay, moving along. Last night I was just piddling around as I do, and I wanted to show you some things, and I'm going to run you. It's even more interesting when I run you through the connections, okay? Here we go. I call it my red file, which is also the All the World's a Stage file. This is my red file scrapbook, folks. All right, first on deck, we have Greg Kidd and Jack Dorsey. Now remember, Greg Kidd was one of the first investors in Coinbase, Twitter. I think he was one of the early investors in PayPal. All right. he's a payments guy, as he refers to himself, and he's the Forrest Gump of investing is what he calls himself. He just happens to show up wherever the money's being made. Now, he also just happened to have Jack Dorsey living in the house behind his house and babysitting his kids when Jack Dorsey creates Twitter. All right, so I'll tie all this together for you, okay? Don't worry. Now, here we have Jack Dorsey and Ashton Kutcher. We know that they know each other. Here we have Guy Oseary. I think his name's Guy Oseary, and he's with Madonna. All right. Do you remember when Madonna did the charity work with Ripple? If you don't remember that, let me show you something here that you might find interesting. Check this out. I bet you've never seen this.
I want to say
That's
thank
Chris
you
Larson.
to everybody.
She's in the room and she's talking about this
inspiring
charity
woman.
that's helping her. How she had a brother that died
so
or
this-
whatever.
again,
But look at this. Anyway, Ripple was I think contributed to Madonna's charity, which was this charity. Not to make light of that at all. I'm just showing you the connections here. So there's Madonna in the same room with Chris Larson, right? So those are my first four pictures. And then Madonna had this the eye patch with the X. And then later on, David Schwartz dresses up, I think, for Halloween as a pirate. And he has an X patch over his eye as well. Now, here's Elon Musk with Guy Oseary. I don't know if I'm saying his last name wrong, who's also with Ashton Kutcher. Well, who's Guy Oseary? We know who Ashton Kutcher is. We'll get to that. Remember when Ashton Kutcher was on the Ellen DeGeneres show giving away $4 million to her wildlife fund? Well, Guy Oseary was the guy that was there with him. He was one of his co-investors. So here's Guy Oseary again. Here's Elon Musk. There's Snoop Dogg. Okay. So let's go through this. And then we remember when Snoop Dogg did the XRP community night in May of 2018. I still am angry that I didn't get an invite. I had just started my channel, so there was no reason for me to get an invite to that. But here's Guy Oseary with Scooter Braun. You'll remember Scooter Braun because he's the manager for, what's the kid's name? I know I'm supposed to know that. Justin Bieber. Well, that's Scooter Braun. That's Jack Dorsey. And who else do we have? And then this is Brad Garlinghouse, and I think that's Scooter Braun right there. Remember, they did Raised in Space, a Ripple-funded project. And then, of course, we have Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Remember, Peter Thiel's Founders Fund invested in OpenCoin. Before Ripple was Ripple, OpenCoin. And his Founders Fund invested in that. There's Elon Musk. Elon Musk called PayPal X.com before it was PayPal.com. Then they changed the name to PayPal. Then he bought X.com from it. Now he's running a thing called Twitter that Jack Dorsey used to run. Remember, this is the irony. Jack Dorsey and him are friends. I talked about this in my video yesterday. Jack Dorsey and him, they're friends. And at the same time, Jack Dorsey was the one that was at Twitter when the censorship started. And he acted like later that he regretted it, but then he left. Now he's building a decentralized media platform so that never happens again, I'm assuming. But he was the one that was there when it was happening, is my understanding. And we know they're friends because when we were covering ETHgate, they were talking about how Web3 is somewhere between A and Z. Let me finish this by saying, is this how it ends? That's a thumbnail, by the way. How it ends. Question mark, right? Okay. Now, Val Capital is back on the scene and says it can't be dirt cheap. And they're showing their XRP valuation 10 years. Price you believe XRP will be worth in 10 years at 10% discount rate to arrive at net present value. A net present value of $385,543. Well, implied value of fully diluted XRP. Interesting stuff. I'm sure he's going to make a lot of people mad today because of that tweet. Oh, we've got the official cool guy. It's not Friday, but that's okay. He's cool on all days. Here's the official cool guy.
Calling all soldiers, report for duty. We're not going to forget about ETHgate. Look over there, not over here. FTX is a distraction. Stay laser focused. Calling all soldiers, report for duty. We're not going to forget.
I was answering a text. Good stuff, always from the official cool guy. And then we have this from the from CNBC.
Affleck, who's starting
Wait a minute. First, I want to make a very good point here.
And then
he's doing deal book, and on CNBC. Remember, Sam Bankman-Fried's going to be one of the people that he interviews to help prepare his image. But I can bet you dimes to donuts that all of these people did not want their picture beside Sam Bankman-Fried. So then he talks about it right here. Watch this.
Affleck, who's starting a new movie studio, and a lot more. Mark Zuckerberg is going to spend some time with us as well. And then at the end of the day, and this is the one that I think a lot of people are waiting for, but also has created a lot of controversy. I'm going to be speaking with FTX founder and former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. It will be his first live interview since the company collapsed. A lot of tough questions to be asked and hopefully answered about what happened there. Accusations, of course, of fraud, misrepresentation, mismanagement. And we're going to get into all of it. Nothing is off limits.
Now, watch how they're trying to craft this narrative. They're trying to act like guys like me that are out here saying that this is a sham and whatnot. They're trying to create this as a narrative. Watch them.
Should say, because I know there's been a lot of questions about it, it is going to be live streamed for free. Anybody can watch it. We're going to be putting out a link as planned a little bit later today. And of course, all of this will be available on CNBC as well. So a big day ahead.
Andrew, that's what we've been talking about earlier, this interview with Sam Bankman-Fried. I mean, this guy just seems wackier and wackier with the stuff you read. I know you were going to hold him down on every single one of these issues that are out there. I can't wait to see it.
And the criticism, Andrew, is innate. It's misplaced. If you go to interview John Wayne Gacy, or you...
Well, see, there's a difference. John Wayne Gacy got arrested first. John Wayne Gacy got arrested, and then people went and interviewed him.
Advocating for serial killers? I mean, of course you're going to... Didn't you go off to... You've been to prisons to interview...
Yeah, after they went to prison. The interview doesn't happen to repair their reputation beforehand. See what they're trying to do? But we're not going to let them get away with it. This is how justice used to be done. They would go and arrest the guy, and if he wanted to talk to cameramen and do interviews after the arrest and the bail and all of that, that's how it was done. That's back when we had a Justice Department that actually went after people.
Was released.
Wait, let me take that back. They do go after people, but they don't go after the people that are committing the crime. They go after the people that are the enemies of the people committing the crimes.
$10 million bail after being charged with securities fraud. If found guilty, he could face 20 years in jail. Madoff was released.
Okay, so Madoff, in this example, Madoff, when the Madoff thing broke, that guy immediately lawyered up, and he had to go in, and they booked him in and all that, and got out on bail, $10 million bail. Why has the same not been done to Sam Bankman-Fried? The feds, John Deaton knows, and John Deaton already said they have plenty of jurisdiction to go in and get him right now. They could he said just with sending an email from the Bahamas in this whole fiasco, they had enough to go and get him. But they haven't done it. And that's what CNBC is trying to divert all of us, because remember, we live in the age of lies now. So they're trying to divert all of us away from the truth. Now, this might bring things home for you a bit. Remember, he's interviewing Sam Bankman-Fried at New York Times Deal Book. Well, same guy, and remember, Andrew Ross Sorkin is the same guy that has Gary Gensler on his show for layup interviews. In fact, he's the same guy that Gary Gensler went straight to when this Sam Bankman-Fried thing blew up, so that Gary could get the softball interview that he needed, okay? He went straight to Andrew Ross Sorkin. It's on CNBC. You can see it. So, just by pure coincidence, Kim Kardashian, who Gary Gensler went after, was on Deal Book back in the day with Andrew Ross Sorkin. And you know why? Because all these people in this circle are on the same, you're watching a show. That Kim Kardashian lawsuit was a show. It was, hey, Kim, we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. Da, da, da. That's what we're watching, folks. That's what we're watching. This is insulting, and these people are, it's a sham. Speaking of shams, listen to this.
About the same amount of votes are this year. That was not generally known because despite Citizens United being literally the highest profile Supreme Court case of the decade and the thing everyone talks about when they talk about campaign finance, for some reason, in practice, no one can possibly fathom the idea that someone in practice actually gave dark. So, I don't know, all my Republican donations were dark. And the reason...
Dark money, folks. Dark money. And I've always said that, look, this is not one side of the aisle, it's both. We have, I mean, this country smells like a rot that I never thought I would smell in this country. It makes me sick. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that there's dark money. That's what he says, dark money, that have gone to some of these Republican candidates. And you know dark money is both sides. It's not anyone.